Hello and welcome to Moxie Books. It's Vicky Fraser here on an extremely scorchio and beautiful summer's day, and today I've got a quick tip about how to research because I get questions quite often from people who want to write books and who generally just kind of want to write. And one of the questions that I get is, how do I go about researching? How do I research in such a way that I don't waste time and I don't get sucked down a wormhole? Because you know what it's like. The problem is that you kind of start researching, and for example, you might want to start researching how to grow tomatoes, and then you read something about pests, and before you know it, you've gone down a wormhole and you know literally everything there is to know about dragonflies, which, whilst really interesting because dragonflies are awesome, isn't terribly useful for writing your article or your blog or your book or whatever about tomatoes. So how do you stay on track? What's a good research technique? Good question. I have a tip for you. It's not foolproof, and I definitely still end up knowing more about random stuff than I need to know. For example, mason bees. But this tip does help to keep me on track, and it helps to keep my research and my insatiable thirst for knowledge and my procrastination under control. So my first tip is, research isn't the first thing you do. I think a lot of people think that research should be the first thing you do. Not the case, because that way lies, you know, oh, I could just write about this and that and the other. First thing you need to do is your outline in great detail. So outline your big idea, what you want to write about. Maybe it's the chapter of your book that you're writing, whatever it is that you're writing. Get your idea down and then break it down into tiny little chunks, so you know exactly all of the points that you want to make, and you know all of the stories that you want to tell to illustrate those points. Next, thing number 2. Go to your bookshelf, have a look. Have you got any books on the particular thing that you want to research? If you have, pull the books out of the shelves, search through the index, find the information that relates specifically to what you want to write about. Make your notes, make a note of any page numbers and stuff like that so you can reference it, put the book back. Finally, thing number 3, do a specific Google search for the specific phrase. So be really careful what you search for. For example, if you just search tomato plants, you'll get all sorts of stuff, including people trying to sell you tomato plants, which is great, but it's not what you're after. Instead, search something like top tips to grow tomatoes in a pot in a greenhouse. And then you'll get exactly what you need, and you'll be able to pull the information that you need out of that. So once you've done that, once you've done your specific search, have a quick scan of the results page, then open the 3 most useful looking ones in separate tabs. Close the search page. Don't be tempted to go back and go through to page number 15. Just take the top 3 from the first page that look like they're useful. If there's nothing useful there, refine your search, do a different search. Then save a simplified version of your web pages to Evernote and tag it with tomato plants so you can read it offline. If you don't have Evernote, get Evernote because it's awesome, but if you don't have Evernote, make sure that the pages are loaded and then turn off the internet, do your research offline, and then you're much less likely to get sucked into something. And then if you think, oh, I want to know more about that, you can go back to it later once you've finished your research and once you've made your notes. After that, write your article. Only after you've written the first draft are you allowed to do any more research if you need to, and even then consider, do you need it? Do you really need to know more stuff? Stay away from Google. So the problem with research comes when we flail around online and we're not really sure what we're looking for or why we're looking for it. As soon as you know, be really clear about exactly what you want to find before you even start looking. You'll be able to search much more effectively, and then you can limit yourself. So that's a top tip that has come from one of the brand new people who have signed up to my Moxie Writer Power Hour, which is a new service. I'm really excited about this. It's 3 live writing sessions a week. It'll go up to, I'll offer more of them eventually, but for now I'm offering 3. The first 50 people to join get to join for just £25 a month, which is like £2.08 per session. An hour's live writing, you get a top tip from me about writing, you'll get a writing prompt, I'll answer a question each once a week as well. So if you're interested in that, if you want to turbocharge your writing, if you want to be held accountability, if you want to write regularly, and you could easily knock out 1,000 words, between 500 and 1,000 words. If you could do that consistently, how much more higher quality writing could you produce? Loads. So go along to moxiebooks.co.uk/power hour. The link is below. Thanks very much, and I'll see you next week.